Hello everybody, this is Mithril Zenith, and welcome to something a little bit special. I did a Seth Solo challenge on hard mode of the Sacred Stones, Ephraim route, and, well, here's the results. Now, I'm playing this through on double speed, and I'm talking over it just at the start, because it's the introduction through Erica's mode. There's not much interesting here. Seth, I don't think he even takes damage. So while we're getting through with these early maps, I thought I'd go over my rules. First, I'm playing on difficult mode. I'm not resetting unless Seth dies or I game over. If I miss a village or a treasure or something, then that means I just have to deal without it. I don't get to keep resetting until I get it, and I'm not gonna suicide Seth or my lord just to force a restart. Also, any resets that I had, I didn't keep. I just cut those out of the recording. So if you see any cuts, that's because I lost on a chapter and had to reset it. Because this thing, sped up double speed, is going for 2 hours, and I didn't think anyone wanted to watch for over 2 hours. So no save states or RNG manipulation. Just because I'm using an emulator for recording purposes, doesn't mean I will do any emulator-only tactics. I need to make sure that this is as legit as possible. As you can see here, I'm just depositing everything and I'm resorting Seth's inventory. I just wanted to make sure that everything was console viable, so that's why I didn't do any RNG manipulation or anything. No willingly deploying any non-Seth units, including thieves. Goodbye, Ross. Rip Ross. I think Garcia follows him pretty soon. That's self-explanatory. Some units are force deployed, and I'll go over what I do with them later. No tower or skirmish map, so no grinding, no... I mean, not that Seth would really benefit from grinding, but it's also... you could get, spears and whatnot from them sometimes, and I'm not going to do that. And no supports, including the Erica and Seth support, so even though they're force deployed, I'm not going to have anyone support with Seth. So my force deployed units are only allowed to move to manipulate AI sometimes. I think it happens once, just so that people go in a certain direction, so they go towards Seth instead of around and towards Ephraim or whatever. It happens in the palace map at least once. They're allowed to fight, but only to defend themselves and prevent a game over. There's very few instances where this happens. It's like Ephraim rejoining in Chapter 8 of where Ephraim, Cal, and Ford come in, and mages attack them, and cavaliers come from behind, and it's just really difficult to get Seth in position. As you can see right here, I just bought a bunch of javelins. Those are going to come in later. They are allowed to, yes, fight only to defend themselves when combat's inevitable, or to immediately prevent a game over. For instance, also in the, Shifting Sands, Chapter 15? That chapter is pretty much impossible to not have the other team, like Erica with Sela and Enes, fight. It's impossible to not have them fight, so I just had them fight, and sometimes I had to go out of my way to kill 1 or 2 enemies because they probably would have killed Erica or something. They are allowed to carry items for Seth, acting as his convoy. They are allowed to rescue and move other units around, like green units or the Lord, just to help prevent combat. But that's about it, and mostly just to make things faster. They're not going to do anything that I couldn't have really done unless it's absolutely necessary, but for the most part they're just doing things to speed things up, including shop. If the map is free and Seth could have shopped anyway, I might have another unit shop just for the sake of saving some turns, because this thing is long enough as it is, and yeah. And they were also allowed to fight in Chapter 5X because Seth is not present there. And because Seth wasn't present there, I just cut it all out entirely. You're going to see it go from 5 to 5x to 6 in just a little bit here. And just as a note, what I did in that chapter was I pretty much had Orson and I had everyone fight. Orson actually got a level up, funnily enough. Kyle died, but Kyle still comes back in Chapter 8 anyway, so I guess that doesn't matter. And yeah, that's about it. That's pretty much what I did. So, without further ado, hope you enjoy whatever I'm putting on in the background, because I've silenced all game sounds, because I'm speeding this up at, I think it's 250% for this first little bit. And sit back and watch. Hopefully enjoy whatever I'm putting on. For the first couple chapters, it's really pretty easy. Just sit back all your units. Avoid reinforcements. There's like 1-2 instances of that happening. And just have Seth come in. Now these reinforcements are annoying because it's a route map and I have to kill all of them anyway. So I figure I'm just going to move Seth down, deal with these guys, and then bring him back up to deal with the Revenants. The biggest issues that I've had with this chapter, which you're going to see in the future, in this challenge, with soloing the entire game with Seth, the biggest issues are, well, inventory space. You only have so many slots. You can only carry so many javelins. And yes, javelins are cheap, but they also only have 20 uses each, and so that will wear out eventually. Oh, also, we get loot even though we didn't recruit her. We got Calm even though we didn't recruit him. Just some funny quirks about this game, I guess. I realize I don't need an elixir right now, I'm just going to get a vulnerary. Now, something notable that other units are not allowed to do is they're not allowed to visit villages. So I just have Seth ride down to grab the Draco Shield there, which I will have him use in the future. There are actually not too many stat boosters you can get just using Seth, because a lot of them have to be stolen or have to be picked from chests, which I might not actually get. There's one chest that I actually had to make sure I got, and that'll come to play in the very end. In the very last chapter, there's an angelic robe that I needed in order to allow Seth to survive 2 hits from the final boss. If you don't mind me sipping a drink, I'll try to make sure that's not audible. Come over, get the Armor Slayer. Joshua comes over and dies. Yeah, not really too much interesting happens. I realize, you know what, it's stupid to have my cursor always go back to Erica. Let's turn off auto cursor, and that makes things at least a little bit faster. But this is pretty much what you're going to see the whole time. Everyone attacking Seth, and Seth killing everyone. Pick up the torch. I thought that was the secret book for some reason. I got confused which house was what. Looking at the inventory, I don't need anything. So I'm just going to come down, equip the Armor Slayer because I'm not really going to use it, and I'd rather have a sword. Just to make sure the off case that all these guys hits me and Seth somehow dies, that doesn't happen. I don't think they could, even if they did all hit me, but it's worth considering. There's a lot of me just going around, going to use a javelin here or whatever. Javelin here, lance there. Oh, secret book. Okay. I'm going to take that, I believe, equip the Armor Slayer, use the secret book, and kill the boss. Goodbye, Sar. Get a guiding ring. That'll be a nice 50,000 gold. Oh, there you see that I skipped chapter 5x. Yep. Just re-equipping Seth with javelins. I gave him the elixir just because I wasn't sure how dangerous things could be on this map, because you actually have there's a fighter with a halberd somewhere here, and if he hits me, that could actually be dangerous. The boss is a druid who can actually hit pretty hard as well. I just sent Seth into the middle. I didn't look up a map for this, so all of this was completely blind. I was actually pretty worried that the halberd guy would do severe damage, because I think that, yeah, Fire Emblem 8 actually runs effective weaponry doing triple damage. As you can see, Seth is down to 7 hit points, which is going to be like 4 after poison gets done with him. I think if that mage hit, Seth might have died, so I was actually... This is the first time that Seth was a little bit in danger, possibly. Oh, Seth is at 6. So I just have him use the elixir, step forward. Oh wait, he's not in the boss's range. Like I said, I didn't look up a map for this. So I could have killed the boss a turn earlier had I done that, but whatever. Doesn't really matter, does it? Now we get to watch Seth just killing a lot of Cavaliers through Fog of War. And luckily we can finish this turn before Erica gets overwhelmed with reinforcements. And we beat the boss, and GG. Oh yeah, we get an Orion's Bolt because we saved all the villagers. Yeah. Yeah, that map is fun because you can send Vanessa over to deal with the spiders, and then you actually have a difficult fight a little bit. Now note that this is hard mode, so these are the hard mode enemies, basically. What do I even equip? I think it's just an Iron Blade? I don't think I'm using Silver Lance uses here. Yeah, I think I was worried about the fighter for some reason, because fighters have high damage values, so I just used the Iron Blade. Yeah, I did. Now I'm going to move forward and use a Javelin, and I feel a sneeze coming on, so I might mute myself if I actually get to that point. This chapter has annoying ballista, so I can't really move Erica up directly without taking care of that. I can sidle her around the ballista a little bit, but I figure, yeah, why not? Might as well just kill it. Unfortunately, these mercenaries are just fast enough so that Seth does not double them, a fact that will remain true for a decent amount of time. Seth not doubling things is frustratingly common sometimes, or missing a second attack. It doesn't happen too much, but it happens enough. And with the ballista cleared out, Erica can just move up north, and we have Seth march over to clear. I'm just double checking to make sure they don't have ranged weapons, making sure they don't have javelins. I think I've played too many ROM hacks like The Road to Ruin or The Last Promise, where every other soldier has a javelin and not just an iron lance. Yeah. For a second I think these archers might not move, but they actually do. My javelin breaks. That actually is the most common way for Seth to not kill an enemy, is that his weapon breaks. I do use a Silver Lance use against that archer, but it doesn't really matter. The Silver Lance carries me through when I needed to. Here, I'm just going to load Seth up with javelins. I'm going to make sure that I get the door key so I can actually move north and just kill the boss and cap the gate quickly. It's not too bad of a chapter, actually. Level up. Seth is level 9 at chapter 8. This is what happens when you give him every kill. He gains 8 levels in 8 chapters. Which is not bad, I guess, all things considered. It's interesting because, I mean, people call Seth a Jagan, which he technically is, if you want to go by Jagan being the archetype of, oh, it's the early game paladin you have. But Seth is one of the best units in any Fire Emblem game ever made. Because he has perfect availability. The only chapter he's not in is 5X, because that's Ephraim's side chapter, to show what he's been doing. He has better growths than Ephraim or Erica. I think he has lower speed, but his total growths are like 375 compared to their like 355 or something. I forget what the exact numbers are. I just remember that Seth's total growths are higher than the total growths of Ephraim or Erica. So he has better growths than the main lord of the game. Pretty good. He doesn't have axes because Fire Emblem 8 realized that giving paladins access to all the weapon triangle... Oh, here I'm doing a little non-Seth fighting. Don't look at this. This doesn't matter. This is... These units don't matter. In fact, Kyle used to be dead. See, these are actually their first level ups. I think Ephraim might have gotten one level up in 5x. Ephraim does end up hitting level 10, though, which is helpful because that means I can actually promote him. I don't promote him right away because I don't really think about it, but promoting him makes it easier on Seth because he now has a more mobile convoy who can canto back after trading with him. And the endgame maps require hundreds of weapon uses, so... or at least over 100 weapon uses per map. And so even with 5 javelins, Seth can't do that much. We're dealing with mages, and that's frustrating. But I can keep everyone safe. I do kill this mage with Ephraim here, just because the mage is going to attack me anyway. And I think that's all that Ephraim's crew does. Yep, here we are. We have Seth marching in to deal with the mages, Erica getting as close as you can without getting into combat range. And we're just going to, I think I just used like the Iron Blade. No, I used the Silver Lance. Or did I give him the Armor Slayer? I didn't actually see. Things are going too fast. I'm rewatching this in rapid speed, just so I know that my commentary has enough time and is on time for all these different things. Going through, we get to a new journey. Oh yes, welcome, welcome. Have 10,000 gold. Now, I'm going on the Ephraim route split. I might do the Erica route split later as a bonus video. Let me know if you actually want that. If you're interested in seeing the Erica route split, I just pretty much always go on the Ephraim split. Oh, first of all, I like Ephraim. Second of all, I just like that. I like those maps. I prefer them over Erica's maps. And, like, I'm the type of person, I don't even mind the Phantom ship, okay? Bear with me while I sit here and buy about 20 javelins. I will be back to buy more javelins later on. Don't you think that these are going to last me through even the next handful of chapters? Yeah, I get a couple Iron Lances just because, you know, what if I don't need to actually fight in melee? I check out what's here. I think I buy a Steel Lance and a Steel Sword, just because I'm not sure if I might need the extra damage sometime. And in case I do, I want to be prepared. But here we go. Welcome to Great Oak Keep. Never mind, just kidding. It's Chapter 9. It's Fort Rigwald. I think. Was Rigwald the... No, wait, Rigwald's the... What am I talking about? I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Anyway, a Seth Solo challenge here. Interestingly enough, I was prepared for this priest over here to put Seth to sleep, because that always happens. And he doesn't ever try to sleep anyone. I don't know if he was bugged, or if his AI is only meant to target certain units and Seth doesn't qualify, or if his magic is so low that he actually would have a 0% hit chance, or a low enough hit chance that he just doesn't bother. I don't know. Either way, I'm glad that I don't have to wait in place for 5 turns. Pick up the heavy spear. I think maybe I'll use it to kill those armor knights. Now, a frustrating thing here is that I would really have loved to take Amelia's speed wings and use them on Seth, because Seth will not cap his speed naturally, unless you're really lucky. But the problem is, you need to use Ephraim to recruit Amelia, and I was not going to do that because that's something that Seth himself cannot do. So I don't get the speed wings this chapter. And that's kind of sad. But here we are, we get the door key, moving in. We're just going to spend one more turn killing that knight. Set up stuff. Yep, use the door key. And everyone charges at me through the open door. Die, die, everyone die. Okay. Yep, I look at Amelia and I say, sorry, I can't get your speed wings today. I'm just gonna grab 2 javelins, equip them, and use an elixir, because, I mean, I don't want to take the risk of Seth potentially dying. Now here I make a mistake and I move Ephraim 1 space too close, so that the mercenary can actually attack him. Now this is a problem because, well, Ephraim can't really fight to defend himself right here, because that enemy was supposed to die to Seth. Unfortunately, Seth also cannot defeat him in a single blow, so I need to take out the silver lance, I believe. No, I think it just has a steel lance. Yeah, because he could deal like 22 with a javelin, so with the... I think it was just in range of... I think it was just in steel lance range. I don't think I actually picked up the silver lance. Maybe I'll actually get to see that. This time I'm like, I'm not going to take any chances. I'm going to move Ephraim far away just to make sure that everyone attacks Seth. Sorry about that. I might be getting a little bit of cold, so I just muted my microphone. Now here we have Seth killing mages. Yes, really interesting commentary, really interesting stuff is coming on. And yeah, I did just pull out a steel lance, not the silver lance. That silver lance actually comes in pretty useful at a certain point later on in the game. I think there are 2 more points when I use it. Once when I use a lot, and then once when I use up the last 3 uses. Axe Reaver, that's also nice. It's a little better than a steel sword, especially since Now, something I was deliberate to do and double-checking with in Erica's mode is that Seth starts with A rank in both swords and lances, but in Sacred Stones you can only S rank a single weapon type. So I made sure to S rank his lances and not his swords, just so I can make sure that he gets the +5 hit, +5 crit on lances, because for the majority of the game I'm going to just be using javelins. I get the iron axe instead of the killer axe. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm not going to use axes anyway, it's just a little bit less money. I kill the priest anyway because I can, and here we go, the map is captured. Time to restock. I think to myself, well, what do I actually need? I'm going to bring on Killer Lance, because maybe that'll be useful. I'll let you see how useful it is. Now, I don't know how you can lose this map, because I don't know how Dussel actually takes damage. Dussel is so strong, and this is on hard mode, that yeah, Dussel's crew might die, but Dussel himself is fine. Like, he doesn't have to move at all. I don't think I end up getting the village. I get the first village, but it's only a torch staff. I think the second village is only a hero crest. I say only a hero crest. Hero crest is not very useful for a Seth challenge. We do have some trouble in this initial choke point, just because these mercenaries are fast enough that I can't double them. These archers are annoying enough that I don't... and hand axe fighters. And I didn't want to just have a javelin equipped because, well, we have a lance reaver here. We have a lot of axes here. I didn't want to risk the potential for Seth dying. So I figured, you know, I'll take it a little bit slower, just clear this out, Get the Lance Weaver, doesn't matter. And then I'll just, you know, let Dussel handle himself. Here we go, Cormag is trying to decide what to do. I think he's going to charge. I guess you could lose this map if you send Ephraim in and he gets wrecked by someone. But yeah, Dussel's not going to die. The boat's firing at me. Not going to be able to get that secret book from the boat because I can't fly to it and kill it. I'm debating what Seth does. I forgot what that village gave you, so I check it out. It's only a torch staff. I instantly regret my decision. Oh well. Yeah, these Cavaliers are not Dussel, however, and they are going to swiftly die a painful death on these pirates. Now, these cavalry coming behind you are basically saying, hey, hurry up, you can't turtle this map forever. That's like the only thing preventing you from just sitting in the corner of the map and waiting for 10 turns, is that cavalry comes from behind. So even though Dussel can't actually die, you can still die if you mess up. Here Seth is 1 strength away from capping, I believe. 1 or 2 strength away. Cormag attacks Dussel, and Dussel doesn't double Cormag. But Dussel does kill Cormag eventually, I think. I think on other phase. Yep, on other phase, Dussel just wrecked Cormag. Goodbye, rip. Ephraim can't escape the Cavaliers, so this is the first of a couple instances of Seth having to fight while rescuing Ephraim. Seth is fighting at half speed and skill for a decent portion of this game, and he still manages to wreck everything he needs to, even if it is a bit less efficient. And this is pretty much the rest of the map, because there are so many mercenaries that Seth can't kill in a single round, plus the ones that he weakens go back and retreat to heal, and then fresh ones take their place. So Seth is completely cornered, can't move, can't do anything. Dussel's Cavaliers are dead, but Dussel himself is going to be just fine. That Troubadour is a physics staff. The interesting things. Totally interesting. Every once in a while, Seth will get a crit and kill a mercenary, even though he's at half skill and half speed. Just because I think that +5 crit from S-rank lances actually does a little bit of work for him. Oh, I am sorry if you catch any of my just heavy breathing or snorting or something, because like I said, I have a cold. Try not to let it get through. I'm trying to mute my mic, but it might come in sometimes. I think it's funny how you have this little mercenary line, like they're all waiting in line for their chance to wait on the fort. And now we have my first mistake. I actually lost my first run of Phantom Ship. You'll notice that I'm being very careful in terms of putting an elixir in Seth's inventory, and in terms of loading up Ephraim's inventory. Because something I realized is that you can't access the convoy using the unit that's currently carrying your main lord. So Seth can't access the convoy when he's carrying Ephraim, even though he can access the convoy when Ephraim's right next to him, and even though he can trade with Ephraim while he's carrying Ephraim. So realizing this, I realized I have to actually start putting items in Ephraim's inventory just so I can have Seth have access to extra javelins and an elixir because welcome to the Phantom Ship. Seth I don't think is going to move from this spot all chapter long. Welcome to the Phantom Ship. Find a spot, stay perfectly still, and fight. Just pick up a stack of javelins. It's going to be gone by the time the chapter is over. Also, Larshel makes a cameo appearance. Not really much to say here. I'm unfortunately 1 damage shy of one-shotting some of these Bone Walkers, which makes me a bit upset, but it happens. Now I switch to a Javelin because the arrival of Larchel and Dussel, I think, is also either the turn of or the turn before the arrival of the boss and the rest of the reinforcements. Seth hits 14 and hits 16 speed, which I think is an important number for doubling. Maybe not. It might be an important number eventually, but not today. Breaks his Javelin. Oh, he's actually doubling some of them. I think the Javelin does slow him down by like 1 point, which does actually come into play. It's like 1 or 2 points of speed difference. Yeah, he breaks the Javelin and just has the Iron Lance. Oh yeah, because he's carrying Ephraim, he's actually fighting at 8 effective speed, which is still enough to double some of these enemies on hard mode. Because Bone Walkers are not known for their speed. Gargoyles, on the other hand, I don't think I can double while carrying Ephraim. No, I can't. So I'm just gonna have to be sitting here, making careful use of the elixirs that I have. Larchel is hanging out in a corner, and Dussel is fighting those gargoyles as well. For some reason, Dussel elects to prioritize the eyes over the gargoyles. I don't know if it's because he has lower resistance, and so he thinks they pose more of a threat, so he has to kill them first. I don't know if it's just because they have lower hit points, or if they're the only things that he can actually one-shot, and the gargoyles the only 2 shots without a crit. I don't know the exact reason. All I know is that it's annoying, because I would rather he kills the gargoyles first, because the gargoyles actually risk killing Larchel. And I don't think she actually dies. Maybe she does. But either way, I want her using as few elixir uses as possible because I'm greedy and want those elixir uses, even though I totally don't need them because this game gives you plenty of money to buy everything you need without even grinding. Now that is something that you might run low on money if you do a lot of grinding, because the cost of the weapons you're using is generally greater than the money you're getting back, unless you're going all the way to unless you're getting a lot of spears and rune swords, or unless you're going all the way to floor 3, I believe, and looting the chest, which has like 3,000 gold in it every time. But anyway, that's talking about grinding, and that's something I'm not doing. Here we see all the gargoyles have died. Seth picks up a short spear, which doesn't go to Convoy, because it's already broken at least 1 weapon. And we're just about done with the Phantom Ship. The boss will not move until you enter his threat zone. So I think... Wait, but the boss was the one carrying the short spear. Never mind. Here you see that green units can actually attack through Fog of War just like red units. Okay, next chapter. Landing at Dussel. We don't have a chance to stock up. Before this chapter, well, between this chapter and the Phantom Ship, I just give Ephraim 4 javelins, and I give Seth 3 javelins, and an iron sword, because I know there are some axe units. In fact, the units that you see here are not all the units that are going to be on this map, which will come into play shortly. debating, oh, do I really want a Steel Lance? Maybe I want the Killer Lance. How much power do I need? Here's the point where I'm realizing Seth is actually mortal, because he's died once on Phantom Ship, and I don't want to take on literally everyone at the same time, because his resistance, while decent, is not absolutely fantastic. Actually, never mind. He probably would have been fine had I just sent him in at max range, but I'm just a little overly cautious because I just died on Phantom Ship and don't want to have to repeat another level like that. Plus, I'm also careful to not get him surrounded away from Ephraim, because he needs to come back and help Ephraim a little bit, because Ephraim's getting attacked by a lot of people from behind. Cavaliers and Gargoyles. I'm debating, okay, can I just kill these guys without having to rescue? It looks like I can for now. Depending on how many other guys approach, though, and how quickly they are, I think I realize at this point that there might be a safe space to put Ephraim on, but then I'm not going to risk it, and I'm just going to pick him up and just hold out right by the gangplank here. And this will be the picture for the next turn or two. As I deal with the Gargoyles, deal with the Cavaliers, deal with the mages. The mages who actually aren't dealing damage. Oh yeah, Seth has 14 resistance. What am I thinking? I think I was a little too afraid of the Luna shamans. Kind of forgetting that, oh yeah, Luna has almost 0 accuracy and no crit. And this is Fire Emblem 8 Luna, not Fire Emblem 7 Luna. FE7 Luna is freaking overpowered. FE8 Luna is not. Yep, I realize, oh wait, the only ranged enemies are there, and I can drop Ephraim off. So I do that just so Seth can kill stuff faster. And maybe dodge 1 or 2 attacks. Spiders are basically... I could have killed all of them on this turn had that javelin not broken and left the spider alive, because everything seems to wind up with an odd number of uses and then break. I'm shuffling my inventory, resorting it, figuring out what I want. I figure I want an Iron Lance, just use an elixir, get back there. Because I can kill off all the melee range enemies at the very least using an Iron Lance. I don't remember if I actually calculated the damage I'd do to the move dogs or not, but either way, I just decide, you know what, I'm going to use an Iron Lance, not a Javelin, because they can actually dodge somewhat. Now with just ranged enemies left and then spiders, I'm going to sit here with a Javelin and one-shot everything. And two-shot the spiders because they're slow enough that I can double them even while carrying Ephraim. That short bow, that's another 1,000 gold or so. I also realize, hey wait, this chapter's not route, this is boss kill. I can just move north. I don't have to stay on the boat all day. I can leave the boat. This is quite the revelation for me. As I begin to dash upwards and I see, oh wait, no one else is gonna pose a threat to me. I don't know what else I was thinking exactly, if there were any other thoughts. All I knew is that I wanted to get to the village because I wanted... Well, not Ewan. I don't need Ewan. I can't use Ewan. But I can use the stat booster that he comes equipped with. Now, in Erica's route, Ewan comes equipped with an energy ring. But in Ephraim's route, he comes equipped with a Draco shield. Now, Seth has already, or is about to, cap his strength, but his defense still has another extra couple points. So I'm just going to give that Draco Shield over to Seth, and Ewan is going to die in a single hit from, I believe, this mage. Yes, he does. The mage getting one-shot by a mage. How sad. I double-check, make sure all these guys have melee range weapons. They do. Not that it really matters, because I can't one-shot them anyway. If I had a steel lance, I would be able to, but I don't. They form an interesting formation and make the mage attack at one range. That was funny. So, clearing things out, I'm just gonna go for the boss now. I think I debate the idea of, well, do I clear these guys out so I can put Ephraim down, or do I just go straight for the enemies now and worry about that later? I check out... So here's a funny thing. I check out my stats against the boss. I'm worried about him switching to the Sword Slayer, but I realize, hey, here's a safe place that I can put down Ephraim, so I can put him down and access the convoy. I don't know what I get outside of, I know that I have a steel sword on me, but I can't remember if I actually had that before. Take out the iron blade, I take out the silver lance in case I need it. Just pretty much a whole set of things. I'm like, okay, what do? Do I attack with the iron lance? Because then I think I'll switch to the sword slayer, and Seth just gets a crit. I'm like, okay, don't need to worry about him switching weapons on me. Seth can just get it was like a 6% crit or something. Yeah, don't need to worry about it at all. I'm like, oh, should I store some stuff just so my buying is faster? I don't know. I think I do buy... Yes, I buy a pure water. I might buy one or two more. I'm preparing for Fluorspar Oath, and I'm a little afraid because I know that if bolting hits me a lot, this can be pretty dangerous. This map is also interesting because it's another one that I have to fight a little bit. But I have to fight just because you get flanked and surrounded on all sides if you don't split up and take the right and the left. And since I'm trying not to fight on the right until I have to, I'm retreating with Garrick and Tethys. I'm not even dancing because why dance? It's a Seth Solo challenge, and that would mean that Tethys is a part of the challenge. Like, maybe I could have justified it by saying, oh, Tethys isn't fighting, it's all Seth, but that's using a unit that's not Seth, and it's not force deployed, so I can't use her. In fact, I think she might even die. Now, if I had wanted to, if I had thought ahead, I probably could have just said, okay, Garrett, give all your stuff to Tethys, and that way both of them die, and then I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about carting him around, keeping him alive. But I do so anyway. This is one of the things that you might call me out on, saying, oh, it's not true solo. I probably could have soloed this map better had I thought things through. It just would have taken longer. Common footage of a steel sword breaking. Oh, these Pegasus Knights are actually the worst part about this map when you're trying to Seth Solo. Because you're just trying to keep everyone else alive and out of combat if you can. But then they just come in and attack everyone. And here's where I make the stupid decision. Okay, maybe it's not quite now. I realize, wait a second, Seth only has 2 javelins left? That can't be good. And so, yes. Okay, here's not where I make the stupid decision yet. I think I probably could have placed Seth better so that he could have attacked 1 or 2 of the Pegasus Knights as well. Actually, no, he's probably fine. It's probably the best place I could put him. Not the best, but a good place. Trying to figure out, okay, where can I put him so that... I'm hitting a problem here. I realize that I can't keep everyone out of combat. So I'm going to cut the losses that I can. Or rather, cut the fights that I can. I do dance Seth, because at the time I figured, you know, I can use him to... Yeah, here's the mistake I make. I have Seth rescue Tethys instead of just letting Tethys die. So this is the problem that turns it from, you know, guaranteed Seth Solo to being, oh, well, I'm now going to have a lot of comments about, oh, you let Garrick fight, oh, you let Ephraim fight. And it's like, look, you try doing this map without fighting, but thinking back, looking on it, I could have easily just left Garrick and Tethys to die. They're not plot necessary. I don't get a game over if they die. I think that's what I was afraid of. But because I don't get a game over when they die, it's like, why do I even bother? I think I get the talk conversation right there just to get it out of the way so I don't keep saying it on my menu. But yeah, here's where Ephraim does a little fighting and probably shouldn't, but oh well. Can't get to the villages in time. Whatever. I'm thinking back on all of this, and I'm like, I did terrible on this map, all because I decided to retreat Garrick and Tethys, and I decided to have Seth rescue Tethys? Why did I do that again? So now I have to use an elixir for Ephraim, and then I have to cover Ephraim with Garrick. And I realize if I do that, then he's just available from the bottom, so whatever. I think Garrick dies to Pegasus Knights here. Yes, he does. Goodbye, Garrick. It's such a shame. And we're trapped in a corner a little bit right now. Yeah, this is not the best spot to be in. But luckily, I think that's the last Pegasus Knight, which means Ephraim doesn't have to do any more fighting, and in fact, Seth doesn't have to carry around Tethys anymore, so Ephraim takes her off his back. And now we wait as we casually route the entire map. Yes, this isn't a kill boss map, this is a route map. So, this forest is that even a forest? I'm forgetting. I think I'm seeing a forest now. Yeah, that's a forest. Yeah, this forest is actually perfectly placed in the map, intelligent map design, because that's exactly the edge of bolting range. So once you realize this, it's like, okay, I can just hang out on the forest. Just use up the bolting, so I don't have to worry about really getting hit by them, because the extra 20 avoidance on a bolting tome that already has mediocre at best accuracy helps out quite a bit. I'm not on a forest here, but it doesn't really matter. Like, can I just kind of move on? Can I just finish this chapter any faster? As you'll see, I have a few problems later. Pick up a Dragon Spear. I figure, that might be useful. I think it actually is useful later on in the game. One or two instances. I think Valter, taking him on with the Dragon Spear is a lot easier. And I think there's one or two places with Wyvern Lords that I actually do end up using the Dragon Spear. I park Seth over here. He battles this Great Knight for a while. Level 18. Not bad. He can't one-round Selena, just barely. He had one more strength, but I think he does cap at 25, so here we go. But he gets 50 experience. And then I realize, oh wait, as soon as you kill the boss, every enemy on the map becomes suicidally aggressive. Their AI changes. Even, I think, the Troubadour charges forward. And then I realize, oh shoot, Ephraim's carrying Tethys. We need to run. So now you have footage of everyone running backwards towards the corner, everyone chasing Ephraim, and Seth running backwards to try and keep up with everyone, and Tethys dancing Ephraim just to get him farther away. And then because Ephraim's farther away than Seth, the AI decides, we're going to stop following you and we're going to start following Seth. And I use that to my advantage, and I just chill out on this forest, and I think kill everyone else from the forest. Well, that Zambato, I think that's a little bit of damage. Yep. That's the thing about triple effective weaponry. It actually is a threat. Double effective weaponry is not. One round with a sniper, like it's no big deal. Hard mode, everybody. Hard mode. Now, outside of Phantom Ship, I think this is actually the most difficult chapter. Yet. There is one chapter that is not normally difficult at all, but in a solo challenge of any kind. Low manning at all, a certain chapter coming up in a little bit. Low manning it makes it very difficult. Just because of the nature of the gimmick. And it's a gimmick that I actually found interesting. I sell the energy ring because Seth is capped on strength and can't use it. There is a goddess icon, so Seth can get 2 points of luck. Actually has really good luck, I'm seeing it. He has really good everything. He's Seth, why am I worried? My convoy's getting a little full, so I'm selling off my 1 and 2 use javelins. Yeah. This is the part where I'm just like, look, I'm not going to be using axes, let's sell off all the axes, let's sell off all the magic tomes, sell off the bows, the staffs, pretty much everything that I won't be using, I sell off right here. How many people am I hurting the souls of right now, selling off all my promotional items? I don't know. And I'm like, okay, well, what else do I have to sell? These and these. You can't sell perf weapons in this, I'm pretty sure. So the rapier, even though in FE7 you can sell it for like 4,000, is not worth it here. So this skirmish I left in just to say, well, this is what I do when a skirmish blocks my progress. Now, I had to reset this chapter, and I realized I didn't save my preparations, and so I ended up doing those preparations off screen, and that's why you see that I went to skirmish there, and then I blacked it, and then I came over here. Really, my preparations were just what I did there. I bought more javelins. I think that's all I did, I just bought more javelins. So this chapter, chapter 14, took several tries. And I will try to explain why. So, it's actually pretty self-explanatory why this took several tries. If you'll notice, in the boss room, eventually you'll see them, there are 2 druids. Each druid is carrying a berserk staff. And berserk still has a hit rate on Seth, even if it's not very good. So when Seth goes berserk, he kills everything. And then I'm trying to have Ephraim not get killed by all these reinforcements flooding from the sides. So Seth turns around and kills Ephraim. That happened about 3 times. And I used pure water to try and increase my resistance. And I think that's what I did here, and that helped a little bit. I open the door and then I retreat because I'm like, nope, I'm not standing up there without pure water. Not again. Plus, I need to kill these soldiers before they reach Ephraim. I think there is a little bit of fighting that Ephraim does end up doing on this chapter, but I'm pretty sure that Seth does basically all of it. I think it's just because I'm... Yeah, okay. Okay, here's the issue. I really want that spear. I can't get the member card. That's off the table. He's already opened a chest. I can't recruit him. I can't get that member card. But I really want that freaking spear. I really want the spear that Rekt just took. Because you can't buy spears, and spears are very, very good. They're silver lances with range that can crit. Like with 15 base crit. But Seth gets berserked as I try to run forward, so I'm not getting the spear. And because Seth is berserked, I can't control him to have him run down and protect Ephraim. Which means that Ephraim's stuck hiding in a corner, and enemy units are seeking him out. Which is why Ephraim has to do a little bit of fighting in this chapter. Now, could I have stayed back and turtled for an extra 10 turns just to deal with all the reinforcements, and to not have any chance of getting the spear, which I don't get anyway? Yes. Is that interesting to watch? I don't believe it is. Plus, I think that if Seth got berserked and there was no one left to kill, I think he would have charged towards Ephraim and then killed Ephraim. Because that's how it works. Or he would have suicided himself on the boss with a bad weapon and not healed. So this was my strategy for things. Just try to pure water and resist berserks when I can, but when I can't, just make it so that Ephraim is far enough away. I pick up a javelin, I pick up Regan Leaf. I pick up Regan Leaf because Seth can't use it, so why not? I don't know. This is the problem with berserk staves and solo challenges. At least he's not asleep is all I can say. Because I had several runs where Seth fell asleep or got stoned, and it didn't end well. Because 5 turns of no movement and no counterattacks means you're probably going to die, especially when the enemies actually start being able to do damage to Seth. Whereas right now they can't do much, but trust me, in a couple chapters when they all start promoting, you can do a lot. So over here on the bottom we have Ephraim taking on, I think it's just 2 soldiers, and then he may or may not end up fighting those 2 armors. I think I try running from them. But I think I realized eventually that, you know what, if Seth gets berserked and I have Ephraim too close, that's gonna happen again. Because that's already happened at least 1 or 2 times. And I did all these takes in a single day. I played through the game in like 2 days. I did not like this map very much after this. So, Angelic Robe gets pilfered, can't get it. 3rd Berserk Staff use is gone, so that guy is clear. Seth also is running low on weaponry, which is why Ephraim needs to get up to him and give him stuff. This map is such a balancing act when you're trying to do it with only Seth and trying not to have Ephraim fight. You know, I think like a 2 or 3 man challenge would be really fun, because then you're having like 2 or 3 units go through here and you have to balance them out and manage the convoy stuff. But doing a solo unit challenge just ends up being an obsessive amount of just, well, better reload your inventory again, better reload your inventory a 3rd time. I had a single-use javelin and that was not going to be able to open the door. I need the key to open the door. A single-use javelin was not able to kill an archer, so I just go back and restock. Now here's the point where I'm like, okay, that guy still has berserk staffs, right? Yes, he does. Still has 3. That other bishop down by the lower door has sleep staves. These armor knights are coming up. Yeah, I do have Seth just use the heavy spear on him to get him to clear out. Yeah, and then right here I just equip a javelin and then I run Ephraim the heck away. I open the door because I figure if I get berserked, hopefully then I will run up and not down. I don't get put to sleep. I don't get berserked. Reinforcements show up. Great. I can kill the sleep staff bishop now. Take his shine tome, doesn't matter. Oh, these reinforcements come out, and Seth gets berserked. And this is a problem because there are only so many enemies in this room, and pretty much all of them are going to die within 2 turns. So Seth is left alone with a boss, and the boss has a spear. And Seth is smart enough to attack the clerics, at least. So that's nice, so he's not constantly draining his own life against the boss. I pick up a red gem. Now Seth is smart enough, though, that he does pick up a heavy spear. I luckily dodged because Seth would not have survived a straight up hit there. Seth also doesn't have an elixir. Yeah, Seth would not have survived 2 hits from Vigard, because Vigard does 13 to him, and he had 25 hit points. So I got really lucky that Seth won that coin flip, or whatever it was, against the boss. Because otherwise I would have had to restart again, and that would not have been fun. But Seth easily kills the boss in 3 hits. There we go, gets a Knight's Crest. That's not going to be useful at all. Just, that's 5,000 gold, basically. And we seize the throne. And we get Glepnir and Garm, which are not helpful. And we move on to Chapter 15. No cuts means I did this in a single take, and that surprised me, because I was sure that someone was going to die. But I was sure that Erica was going to die, and I'd have to reset, but I think she actually gets a lucky dodge once and doesn't die. And I also do a little bit more fighting than I probably needed to with Sela and Inez. But they get swarmed by mages and Pegasus Knights, okay? I'm not gonna have Erica alone trying to deal with them, especially when they all have ranged attacks and she can't counter at range, so she's just stuck for however long it takes Seth's horse to move 1 space at a time through desert sand. Oh, I also don't think I get any, Erica has a javelin on her for some reason. I think I might have left that on her during the prologue missions, and just forgot to deposit it in the convoy, I guess. I don't know why she has a 3-use javelin, but she does. Yeah, I think I probably had her trade it with Seth during Chapter 8. Anyway, so we get the wonderful ability to actually use a gate defensively. Very rarely do you actually have, well, first of all, thrones or gates to defend at all. But second of all, very rarely do you actually have enemies that are close enough to the throne or gate to allow you to use it defensively. But this is one chapter that does, and this is why Chapter 15... Okay, Chapter 15 is a very slow and frustrating chapter, for many reasons. But it at least is clever enough to give you that gate. I make sure to kill this paladin because I'm worried that troubadours are just going to heal him up. I need to have Seth stay down here for at least 1 more turn, just so he can kill off the rangers and mobile wyvern riders, so Ephraim's not in too much threat. So Sela and Inez are gonna have a nice day fighting in front of the gate while Erica hides on the gate. I'm glad that Seth does double these guys, but they actually don't die in 2 hits, some of them, because they have that many hit points. These troubadours are really annoying, but I'm like, look, I can't take the time to kill them. I need Seth to get up north as soon as he possibly can. So I'm just like, okay, what are these guys' ranges? Ephraim's freaking in trouble. I can't go back and do that. I mess up, I use a 1-use javelin on this wyvern, and I realize, look, I'm in trouble. Ephraim might need to make a single attack. I'll give him a 1-use javelin. And yeah, look what that 1-use did. It's pointless. Pointless uses of 1-use javelins, everybody. Okay. Just double checking that my mic wasn't muted there for that entire stretch of time. That would have been wonderful. Not. Here come the Pegasus Knights, and yeah, that's a problem. I've realized, look, I have a problem here. Just gonna equip the Dragon Spear. Actually, no, I'm gonna equip the short spear. I'm just gonna grab Ephraim, I'm just gonna run north. And once the reinforcements finally stop, then I can focus on killing the bosses. But until then, No. No. And the Troubadour is healing up the Cavaliers that I barely don't kill by counterattack. Yeah. Yeah. Kill off what I can. And then more freaking stupid fighting. I don't want Erica to fight at all because I know she can't take these guys, especially with how much she gets slowed down by a steel sword. These Pegasus Knights would probably double her, even with javelins and steel lances or whatever they have. Sayla rocks the boat. And I know that's not exactly the way that phrase is used. Sayla somehow dodges like 3 Pegasus Knights in a row, so he should be dead right now, but he's not. Inez is still one-shotting all of them. Sayla uses that elixir. Okay. Yeah, this is what I mean when I say that force deployed units are allowed to fight when they have to, because how do you not fight against these Pegasus Knights? And if I just unequip them and not fight at all, well, they kill Erica and I get a game over. They kind of need to fight. But now that that's pretty much done with, we have a little bit of a switcheroo here. I send Sayla to shop. I don't know why I do this right now. This is the worst possible time to shop, especially when Sayla is still at risk of death. Like, this is the one time that a non-Seth unit shops, and I think it's the worst time to have them shop, actually. But whatever, I make mistakes. Mages come in, the reinforcements from the south come in. I always imagine this as being, like, the last platoon of Grado's soldiers marching from the capital to try and take down Ephraim. I don't know. I just have Ephraim hold his sister on the gate, whilst Seth goes out to deal with everyone else. But everyone wants to attack Inez because Archer. And yeah, 2x2, the south units are marching to kill me. So I'm just like, okay, look. This is the last time I'm going to be using these units. I should be able to run them all away. I'm just going to do this. I give him a javelin because I think that that'll make the enemies less likely to attack him. But he's... Oh, I also give Erica over to Seth. Basically, I do what I can to dissuade the enemies from attacking Ephraim and make them attack Seth. But that doesn't work because they still don't want to attack Seth. So whatever, javelin breaks. And Seth is in a corner. And so I'm just like, look, screw it, I'm not gonna... What do I do? Yeah, I give him another javelin because I'm like, look guys, seriously, whatever I can do to try and keep the AI from attacking Ephraim. Inez misses his first attack, and that doesn't kill the mage, so Sayla has to kill him. This is just a matter of mopping out these enemies because they're going to attack Ephraim and not Seth, and I can't do anything about that because there's nowhere to run. Inez is almost dead. I think, yeah, but I'm like, look, I can just kill off all these enemies. And that should be the last time that Inez and Sayla and crew actually see fighting. The archer attacks Ephraim once more. Yeah, the archer attacks Ephraim, because whatever, but he only does like 2 damage per shot. What am I doing here? Okay, I'm just stocking up on javelins. Sure, why not? And then I realize, okay, it's clear, no more mages. Let's everyone retreat to that corner. And now we can have Seth finally soloing the rest of the map. Okay, hands up in the air. Seth is doing what the title says he should be doing. Seth is soloing. I use the talk conversation because I can. And we get going and get ready. We get ready for a nice, long experience of Seth basically killing 2 enemies per turn because that's how many enemies can attack him every turn. Unfortunately, 1 damage away from 2-shotting that paladin. Switch to a sword so the absolute users don't hit him. Now there are a couple of potentially dangerous enemies left. There's the Berserkers, one of which has a hand axe. That one on the left has a dragon axe and a hand axe. Equip javelin and hope for the best. The best happens. Get his dragon axe. That's money in the bank. I'm gonna switch out my inventory. I don't actually pick up an elixir. Now I'm debating, do I want to go after Kalak first, or do I want to go after those freaking troubadours? I decided that I'll just kill Kalak first. Short spear to one-shot that guy, because I'm tired and just want this map to be over with. I'm so glad I didn't have to repeat this map, because, yes, even though I had Sailor and Innas do a decent amount of fighting, look, what else was I gonna do? Now Kalak has the Hoplon Guard in this game, Iron Ring in other games, which prevents crits under most normal circumstances. I say under most normal circumstances because I'm 99% sure that I got crit when I had the Hoplon Guard on because I was turned to stone. Yeah, Seth got turned to stone. I'm 99% sure he still had the Hoplon Guard on, although I could have given that to Ephraim or storage when I was switching stuff around. I forget exactly, but I'm pretty sure he still had it. And he still got crit by Shadow Shot. So, yeah, that can happen. Just thought you might want to know. If an enemy can crit and you're turned to stone, it will. Even through a Hoplon Guard, possibly. I just figure, okay, how quickly can I get this over with? Let's even use the Dragon Spear, because beyond this chapter, there's not really any other chapters that it might be useful on. Maybe killing zombie dragons? That's actually would have been a really good idea. Zombie dragons have 2 range anyway. I think I just use Vidofnir. Luckily though, because Seth now has the Hoplon Guard, Valter can't crit him. And so, even though he has a spear, Valter dies. Take the Philly Shield, take a Dulma and Excalibur, they're going to be chilling in the convoy. Health and safety screen, you know what that means. Ruled by Madness was failed at least 1 time. I'm going to tell you it was closer to 5 or 6. This chapter has the glorious nature. This chapter is kind enough to have reinforcement sages with Purge, to have a lot of reinforcements coming in 2 separate waves from the bottom, and to have the enemies, even though they stay put for half the map, as soon as you cross a certain point of the map, they all become aggressive and charge at you. Except for the Eclipse Druids, who... Sometimes the Eclipse Druids actually hit Seth, and that was frustrating enough, because Eclipse doesn't hit anything. Have like 10% chance. Anyway, when the Eclipse Druids hit Seth, I was very... I've played this map through so many times, okay? So many times through Chapter 16 before I finally beat it. So I'm like, look, this is my strategy. Move Seth forward, clear these guys out. Reinforcements will come from behind. When do I actually take... All my strategies are blending together for this map. Okay, look. Move Seth forward, kill off these knights as fast as possible. The knights don't move, but they will attack if you're next to them. Move Ephraim as far forward as he can be without being in shaman range. Shamans killed themselves on Seth. Okay, congratulations. That's good. This thief moves down. I want to kill this thief because he will open the door and let loose the priest in there that has a berserk staff, meaning the priest can move and berserk Ephraim. And a berserk Ephraim loves to kill himself on Seth. Because he can't kill Seth, but Seth can definitely kill Ephraim in return. And I think that's what happens. I forget. But either way, nothing good happens. Oh yes, and also as soon as you cross the line that makes all the enemies aggressive and spawns more reinforcements from the right, it also spawns reinforcements from the south. Extra reinforcements. I think that's based on that line crossing. It could be based on turns. I don't remember for sure. I'm pretty sure it's line crossing though. So now we have everyone charging. Ephraim caught outside. I think I had to use pure water or else he would have gotten one shot there. What do I even do with him? No, wait, he doesn't use pure water. No, maybe he did. I'm forgetting what literally happened on screen in front of me 5 seconds ago. And I'm just like, look, just what does Seth need in his inventory? Elixirs, pure waters. Ephraim needs to use an elixir, otherwise he's gonna die to another purge. Okay, look, how far up do I need to move in order to block people? Right there. And I hope this is enough, because I can kill the knights. I figure I can kill the swordmasters in 2 turns. I should be able to kill all the druids in 1. That druid, unfortunately, is close enough to hit Ephraim. So that's a problem, so I have to retreat back and deal with him. Luckily, I believe, yes, I can just do this, have Ephraim retreat onto the staircase. I'm debating having him use a pure water. I decide against it, because I'm like, he can survive a purge, and pure water is not going to prevent him from dying to a purge crit, so whatever. And this is the point of the map where 90% of the time I died because something stupid happened. Like, that shaman, the sage that just attacked Seth with Hellfire also has a sleep staff. And sometimes he wants to use it and sometimes he doesn't, and I don't understand what causes that. All I know is that sometimes, like, if Seth doesn't have pure water on him at all and any resistance boosts, Seth will get put to sleep by the shaman, by the sage, and that's game over because these guys actually deal damage to him. Not the soldiers, but like the Great Knight and the other sages. But if the sage is close enough, he'll just use Hellfire instead, and then Seth can kill him on the counterattack with the javelin. I don't understand it. I don't get what's up. Enemy AI in a nutshell. But now, at this point, I'm over the hump. I've done the difficult part of the map. And I'm just like, okay. I just need to make sure I don't mess this up. Have an elixir, Seth. Have a pure... I think I even give him... I'm debating giving them pure water, but then I'm like, look, the only thing left are druids with the clips. And that only does half hit point damage. It doesn't matter what my resistance is. I'm just going to have Seth kill them one by one. I even move up Ephraim just because, like I said, Eclipse can't kill you by itself. This thief pops up. I'm not going to make a mistake I did in Chapter 15 by using a one-use javelin when I need 2 hits. Orson has the rune sword. I checked my damage against him, and I'm like, okay, I can start chipping him down. I don't think I really need anything on the right. That's actually a unique conversation between Seth and Orson. It's pretty cool. Maybe I should have slowed it down, but whatever. I'm just gonna leave it as is. Okay, yeah, but Knight's Crest was pilfered. I don't really need that. I'm just gonna kill these clerics on either side because I really don't want them healing Orson. This guy picks up a talisman, and I'm like, I could really use another 2 resistance. And for some reason the thief doesn't move down, he just moves to that corner. Perfectly allowing Seth to just pick up the kill. That confuses me. But whatever happens, I'm just like, okay, let's move around, let's kill the last priest, just to make sure that no extra bonus healing happens. I'm gonna position Seth right there. Seth gets a crit. You can't make this crap up. Seth does what he needs to do. I don't actually have Ephraim and Erica change classes right now. I probably should have, because they can anyway. Get Siegmund, get Sieglund. Nice, nice. Okay, reset time. I reset this map once because I just got surrounded, and I think... yeah, I got surrounded and killed because I moved improperly. But then I realized there's a much smarter way to do what I was trying to do. So let's just do that. Plus I also realized I don't really need to access the armory on this chapter. So the armory on this chapter, you have to access it in chapter if you want to buy Reaver weapons, because it's the only place you can buy Reaver weapons in the entire game. But it also offers killer weapons, and it still offers those killer weapons from the overworld map screen. So I don't need Reaver weapons, so I don't need to really rush and grab those. So I'm just going to take the rightmost path through the mages so I can rush down Leon. Because I need to rush, otherwise Ephraim will be surrounded by heroes and paladins, and wyvern knights, and druid reinforcements. And with Seth rescuing, he can't double any of them and gets doubled, and some of the brave weapons, I think. Or maybe it's a different chapter. Either way, I got Seth into a position where he was surrounded and actually couldn't survive. And so I'm like, I don't want that to happen again. Let's just kill the boss before that happens. So I readjust my inventory, take the killer lance, because I'm like, a 2-use silver lance, is that really going to help? Probably not. Gets the crit with the killer lance. There is some luck involved in these strats, I will say. In a Seth Solo challenge, you do have to rely on luck sometimes. Cyrene gets killed, how sad. Can't really do anything about it. Here's the frustrating part. I'm like, okay, look. Even if I crit once, I can't kill Leon. These druids are annoying and frustrating to deal with. But if I crit once and then... but I know that Leon attacks first. So I figure if I crit once, then I can just counter him and kill him and beat him. There we go. Victory. Get Nidhogg, get Vidofnir. Vidofnir is the weapon of choice. 2 Faces of Evil. Okay, I'm gonna do my Killer Ed shopping. Killer Ed shopping. Yeah, the great part about Chapter 17 is that I know for a fact that Leon is programmed to always attack first. And so that's the only reason I did that strat that I did, where I used the Javelin, attacked him, hoped for the crit, got the crit, and then do the counterattack, because otherwise Seth had a very high chance of dying to all those druids. But because I knew Leon would attack first, I did it anyway. It worked out. Everyone's happy. Okay, I don't know if everyone's happy, but I'm happy. My phone is blowing up with emails. Yep, after I bought all those killer lances and javelins, reset time. I think I'll spot extra pure water and elixirs. So this chapter is a nightmare when trying to solo, because of Gorgon eggs. Now, Gorgon eggs are wonderful. They give you 50 experience guaranteed every time you kill one. They wait patiently for you to kill them. They start hatching, but they show you when they're hatching, and they only go up 5 hit points at a time. Bad news is, when you only have one unit, you can't kill all of them. And you have Gorgons attacking you at long range with Shadow Shot or Stone. And you have lava tiles. So my strategy for this map, and this took about a dozen tries, I just muted the sound, turned on a podcast or a video, and just grinded this out for hours before I finally won. Kill those 5 eggs. Those are the only 5 eggs I can reach before eggs start hatching. Lure this Gorgon specifically so that she dies to the fire, because I want to be in a position to get to the bottom right. Because these Gorgons start hatching, some of them won't move until you're in their range, some of them won't move at all, some of them move instantly. It's a crapshoot which one does what. And what weapons do they have? Some of them have Shadow Shot, pretty much all of them have Demon Eye, and some of them have Stone. Now, Stone, as you can see, based on the skill and luck that these Gorgons spawn with, has between about a 25 and a 33% chance of hitting, so between a 1 in 4 and a 1 in 3 shot. Not great odds to hit Seth, but if a single stone hits Seth, he is dead. So now you see how many times I had to restart this chapter. So my strategy for this chapter was as follows. 1. Kill as many Gorgons as I can without them counterattacking me. Being able to kill that one with Shadow Shot before it switched over to Stone, great. 2. Use the Flame Tiles to kill as many Gorgons as I can. I also realized, whoops, Ephraim is too close, I forgot to move him back, and that's why the Gorgons are traveling down to the left. So I'm going to move Ephraim down to the corner, and then the Gorgons are going to move closer to Seth once I move him there. Put on Pure Water. I don't believe that affects my chance to avoid Stone, but I think it does. Either way, I'm going to put on Sigmund, just as much dissuasion as I can to have these Gorgons not go after Ephraim. And it works. So yeah, here's where I start getting tricky with my placement. I fully realize that if I try to have Seth attack, because Stone also has 1 to 3 range, it's a longbow with 1 range as well, that if they have the chance, they're just going to attack Seth with Stone as many times as I can. So what I do is I position... For some reason that Gorgon doesn't attack and it throws me the heck off. I still don't know why that Gorgon chose not to attack. Don't ask me. That frustrates me, that weirds me out. That throws a bit of a wrench into my plans too. But yes, all those Gorgons behind me have Stone. This one next to me I don't believe does. I think it only has... No wait, maybe it did have Stone. If it had Stone, I don't know why I didn't use it. I think it's because I have the Pure Water effect, that these enemies aren't... The Gorgons don't want to attack me. Okay, I positioned Seth right here, so he's exactly 3 tiles away from those fire tiles, specifically to make the Gorgon stop on the fire and die to the fire. It deals 10 guaranteed damage. These 2 Gorgons above Seth will not move. That one likes hugging Seth, but not actually doing damage to him. Okay, great. There's 1 with Stone left, 2 with Stone left. That one has Stone as well, but didn't want to attack him with Stone. Don't ask me. This really made me confused. I don't know what the AI was thinking with these Gorgons. All I know is that my plan worked and I killed like 4 of them to the fire. Now I've gotten this far about 2 or 3 times. The other 2 or 3 times, the very last Gorgon that I needed to not hit me with Stone hit me, and I died. So here's where I have to take a risk, because that Gorgon will not move. Moving to the square also causes the spiders to appear. Luckily they don't ambush reinforcements. I killed the guy with poison first. I'm thinking back, I don't know how poison interacts with other status. If it blocks out status and means I can't get status again? Like, can I be stoned and poisoned at the same time? I don't think so. And if I get hit with stone, does that overwrite the poison? Because I know getting hit with stone again refreshes the stone. Well, oh well. I just don't want to deal with poison damage, so I kill off the poison claw guy first. I start moving Ephraim forward because, well, Seth's running out of stuff and he needs to refresh the convoy. So I have Ephraim grab Vidofnir, some javelins. I realize, you know what? I can promote, I might as well promote. I didn't write any rule ahead of time about not promoting, so let's promote. Awesome promotion games. Ephraim's a really good unit. Not using him. Not using him at all. Instead, I'm just using him as a mobile convoy. Ephraim is the best convoy since Merlinus. really debating what to give him, because I just want to use a vulnerary right now. I don't want to use a full elixir. I'm saving my elixir uses, like, as if I'm limited on money or elixirs. I hit the point where it's like, okay, I really just need the ability to one-shot Gorgons. Because, yeah, it's not good to let the Gorgons have even a chance of attacking me with stone if they can. Because again, a 1 in 4 or a 1 in 3, and I have to dodge like 12 of them in the map already. Don't want to give it an extra one after I've already done all 12. And I'm not save stating or using RNG manipulation. This is console strats, basically. So, yeah. The Dofnir, just to one-shot that Gorgon, just because I really, really don't want to take the chance, because I already had stone equipped. Now, the rest of these Gorgons do not move, I believe. But just to test that, I stationed Seth outside, just in stone range, because this is the first time I've ever actually gotten this far. I don't want to move Seth into melee range, because then I'm in range of Shadow Shot from the other guy, and I don't want... Yeah, now that Seth's out of this Gorgon's movement range, it's not moving anymore. Just use the stone again, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna attack with... No, I'm not gonna attack. Changing my mind. Look, I'm just gonna use an elixir just in case I get hit by stone, because I figure if I get hit by stone, and then I can wait out things, and then it doesn't use stone on me. And then I realize it didn't use stone because I switched to a 1-range weapon, and not a 1-2 range javelin. So it got at 2 range and used its attack, which would deal damage. So now I'm thinking, okay, I'm an idiot. All this time they were trying to use stone just because I had a javelin equipped. And if I didn't have a javelin equipped, they would have switched to Demon Gaze or whatever. Whatever, I use the short spear because it 2-shots the boss. And now I move up slowly to kill these last... this last cluster of Gorgons hiding behind where the boss is. And I'm like, look, I don't know if they move, I don't know if they don't. All I know is I don't want to take any chances because I've already spent hours on this map and I don't want to spend any more. I realize when none of them move, oh wait, they're not going to move, they're just going to stand still. Aren't they? So I double check which ones have stone, turns out all of them above have stone. I'm just going to Pure Water. I'm just going to Elixir. Basically, I want to take as little chances as possible. I've been scared stiff. It's like, okay, look, kill that monster in particular. Avoid the stone. Kill that one. Avoid the Shadow Shot. Okay, I can kill... I switch to Killer Lance to try and get the crit, and I get the crit. Okay. Tries to stone me from melee range because this one does not move because it had Shadow Shot. Great, and now I just kill a few regular monsters. And that's the map, and I was so glad to have this map done with. As you can see, I also reset the next map at least once. I think it was about 3 times. First time I was just trying to figure out what I needed to do to get to the boss. It seemed really difficult, so then I decided to try and hunker down on the throne. That didn't work out because enough enemies, not because Seth can't survive, he was totally fine, but because enough enemies showed up that there was no safe place to put Ephraim. And Ephraim died 3 turns away from victory, because the throne got so crowded that Ephraim couldn't hide. So I'm like, okay, look, Ephraim, take the king, run away. I really just don't want you to have to fight anything right now. Upon looking back, I'm pretty sure I could have left the king on the throne and it wouldn't have affected anything with the strat that I used, but whatever. this is also where you get the Brave Lance and the Brave Sword, and those are pretty nice weapons, which will come in very handy soon. Green units be green units. I'm just gonna move south, move Ephraim away. Some of me keeps thinking that there's a longbow sniper in the top right, so if I try to move like where the secret shop is or something, that Ephraim will just get hit with a longbow and killed or something. I don't know what I'm thinking. Either way, I deliberately adjust my weapons because I know that trying to use a javelin down here is not effective. Green units be green units. I position him there because I'm pretty sure also there's a silver bow sniper at least now. I moved here. I made the mistake of moving one space too far. Again, I didn't look up maps for this. So there's a chance of Seth dying here. But luckily, he doesn't. And now I have to realize, okay, am I going to take the gamble on Brave Sword? Or the Killer Lance? I take the gamble on the Killer Lance, I'm like, screw it, I'm just going to reset if I don't kill him anyway. I end up killing him. Chapter's done in, like, 4 turns. There we go. Congratulations. Last hope complete. Whew. Now it's time for last-minute final preparations. Because you don't get a chance to buy anything else. So stock up now. I'm going to buy... Oh, I guess you can buy Reaver weapons here. Never mind. Never mind what I said about Reaver weapons. I just totally forgot you could buy them here. Silver swords, because I think I might use some. Basically, I buy silver swords, I buy silver lances. I buy more javelins, I buy some pure water, I buy a lot of elixirs. I think I use up the rest of my money. I just use Franz to look, okay, what can I sell that I haven't sold yet? Sell all my promotional items, sell all the new tomes I picked up. I realized, oh wait, I have a gem. I didn't sell the Philly Shield. I probably could have sold the Philly Shield and whatever. Anyway, here we go. Darkling Woods. Yep, you have so many possible units to use, and I'm using none of them. We're almost done, folks. Just 2 chapters left. And this will be the last quarter of the video. That's how long these chapters are. 2 chapters left, and it's like a half hour on double speed. I'm figuring out what I want in everyone's inventory right now. I want the Hop-On Guard just because I don't want to get randomly crit. I'm trying to figure out if I need swords. I don't think I do. Not for the start, at least. Let's do this. So I bet you didn't know just how many reinforcements are on this chapter. I'm going to show you all of them, because that's how long it takes Seth alone to get through. Fighting-wise, he's still perfectly fine. He's still juggernauting the entire map. It's just a matter of not having a strong enough player phase to actually push forward through all the reinforcements. That Gorgon as well. I've been hit by stone far too many times to even risk it at all. So I'm not even going to take the forest and risk getting hit by stone. I'm just going to stand right here until I absolutely need to pull her out and move forward. Moving forward on me, we have all the whites, all of the, what the heck they're called? Mergens, whatever they are, the centaur people. I don't remember their actual name, and this is going far too fast for me to check. But whatever it is, we have gargoyles, we have centaurs marching on us. I actually think the centaurs have a really cool weapon set using axes and bows while mounted. Maybe I'm just crazy, but I was thinking the other day when I was playing this, what are all the different weapon combinations that we've had over the years? And I think we've had units with pretty much every weapon combination you could think of. We haven't had one that uses both bows and magic. I'm not sure why you would want that, but that's something we haven't had. Yeah. Anyway. More series of Seth not doubling Gargoyles, because even though they're not even promoted, these Gargoyles are still fast enough to not get doubled by a Seth while Seth is carrying in Ephraim. However, if Seth wasn't forced to be on babysitting duty, he would have no problems. So really, Ephraim is just holding Seth back. That's what I've learned here today, is that Seth is more than capable of soloing the entire game. It's just his friends that are holding him back. But if Seth was the main lord, like Sigurd, you wouldn't even have to deploy his other friends, and he could just be totally fine. Now at this point, I'm like, okay, it's time. We need to draw out this gargoyle. Gargoyle. Why do I keep calling it a gargoyle? This Medusa. Gorgon, that's why it starts with a G. Not even gonna take a chance getting stoned, even though I'm in a safe spot. So I just use the Brave Lance. I'm double checking to make sure none of these guys have sword slayers. They don't. So I'm gonna move Seth forward with the Brave Sword. The only one has that could pose a threat is the one with the halberd, but he's one of these stationary ones. Seth hits 4 times and doesn't kill most of them. He kills that one, but on most of them he still at least needs 1 crit. I swiftly realized that this is a great way to break the Brave Sword before you can do anything with it. Yeah, majority of these guys Seth does not 1 round, but some of them he does. That one he doesn't. Brave Sword is broken. I realize now that I've made a mistake, and Death Goyles are coming. And these Death Goyles are quite fast. They're not the fastest opponents available. The fastest would be Gwilgi. I don't think there are any Gwilgi on this map, though. But I need to set Seth up with a different weapon set, so I give him a Javelin and a Silver Sword. Javelin to take care of the Mogul, and the Silver Sword to deal with these guys. I see that one has an Axe Reaver, so I'm like, okay, sure, I'll use the Silver Sword. Ephraim needs to give him an Elixir. I'm debating if I need to give him anything else. I figure, why not, while I'm here, give you another Javelin. Retreat, give me Elixir. Equip the Silver Sword, and wait. Seth, unfortunately, is nowhere close to 1-rounding Cyclopes with just a Silver Sword. If he crits, he still kills him, though. He does manage to 1-round Death Goyles using a Silver Sword. Unfortunately, some of those Death Goyles have Javelins. And I'm just like, look, just get rid of the annoying Cyclops right here. I can just hunker down with Javelins and kill these Death Goyles. And then Death Goyles start coming out of that cave, too. So I'm like, okay, Ephraim has to move even further away. Great. And remember what the problem is for a Seth Solo challenge? It's not that Seth can't kill the enemies. It's that Seth doesn't have enough inventory space to carry all the weapons he needs. So I realize, wait a second, that Javelin's already almost broken, and it's only been 1 round of combat. So let's move him back, keep him on a forest to at least dodge a little bit more. Most of these guys go down in just 1 more hit. That guy also went down in 1 hit, even though he wasn't hurt. Thank you, Seth, for the crit. There we go. That Javelin's down to like 2 or 3 uses left. More Death Goyles keep showing up. Yeah, that Javelin had 1 use left. I'm like, okay, screw this. Just give me 3 more Javelins, use an Elixir, and stay on the forest while Ephraim gets the heck out of here. we get a lovely enemy phase. And you thought Tellia's enemy phases were bad and full of just being juggernauts. Say hello to the Seth Solo challenge. Now, I'm also leaving the javelin on Seth, even though we have the centaur guys attacking me. I still can't remember their official name. And it's gonna hit me as soon as I finish this recording. But yeah, I'm leaving them on because, yeah, these centaur guys have bows as well as axes. And for some reason, they really like using their bows. Yep, but there is one javelin completely gone in a single enemy phase. Just kill one of the axe guys so he doesn't have a chance to attack. Because they're the only people that can really risk hitting me and doing damage while I'm on this forest. You get a nice little stack of, yes, Seth dealing with more monsters in his own special way. Oh, there's a Gwilgi. They do exist on this map. I thought they were only on the final map. I realized, look, I don't double that Death Goyle, and it's going to take me 3 hits to kill him. Might as well start hitting him now. I get a couple crits here, which, I mean, they're not necessary, but they help speed things up. They help save a couple javelin uses. So that's nice. Speaking of saving javelin uses, there's another one down. I'm in a position where I should be able to finish off the rest of these guys in the next enemy phase. And a good thing too, because my current javelin is almost gone, and that's my last javelin, so I'm gonna need to retreat and restock again. There's the Gwilgi, fastest enemy in the game, even faster than those sword masters in Chapter 19, because the Chapter 19 sword masters, well, Garrick doubled them with a hammer. I'm not sure that says anything about the sword masters, or if it just says something about Garrick, but yeah, that's what happens. But these Gwilgi, I have trouble getting even Joshua or Marisa to double them. That's how fast they are. Or at the very least, the ones in the ruins have like 30 speed. And because their weapon's a natural weapon, it doesn't slow them down at all. They're pretty terrifying. Yeah, I had 2 javelin uses left. I loaded them up with 60, and I realized that I didn't buy enough javelins. Because I'm down to 3 20-use javelins left. Luckily, I'm mostly done with the chapter. I still have another half the map to go, but I've dealt with most of the reinforcements. But yeah, I'm down to, like, less than 100 javelin uses left, so now I'm gonna actually have to start breaking out the other weapons. But because I'm done with all of the ranged enemies, I'm just like, okay, look. You've used the javelins you need to. Be the Silver Knight we know you to be. Just take a full inventory of Silver Lances. And here's where I realized a mistake I made. Is that the Silver Lance doesn't really help Seth kill either the spiders or the Gwilgi in any fewer rounds than a Steel Lance or Iron, maybe even an Iron Lance would have. So I should have just loaded him up with Killer Lances just to save a few turns and to save a few Lance uses, because the extra 30% crit would have helped a lot more than the extra, like, 4 points of damage. Because Seth still takes 2 hits to kill a Gwilgi, or 3 hits to kill an Archbale. It's not worth Silver Lancing. I should have just used Killer Lances. It's not even that I'm short on Killer Lances. I have a whole stack of them in my convoy. But yeah, it's about when I get that one crit on the Gwilgi that I'm like, I did this wrong. But there's no way for Ephraim to get anywhere close to Seth until all these things are dead. So I'm stuck here. And I also stuck Seth in a corner where only 2 enemies could attack him at a time. So, while this isn't a mistake that costs me, like, resources or risks a reset, it's still a mistake that costs me extra time and extra patience. Because by the time I'm through with all these Archbales and Wilgi, I really just want to be done with this map. I've been in it for 40 minutes now. 20 minutes, oh, maybe like 30 minutes. Like 15 plus minutes at double speed. Be grateful I'm not playing this at normal speed for everyone, and that's why I decided to do post-commentary, because I knew that if I would record the entire thing and just put it up in a single video, if I did live commentary, I would have sped it up, and my live commentary would have been lost. Yeah. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to mute it, play everything at double speed, do post-commentary over it, and probably put some other Fire Emblem music up over it. And we are finally done with the Archbales and Wilgi. No more reinforcements are coming. Everything's great. Everything's glorious. I'm like, okay, look. Done with Silver Lances. We'll give you a Killer Lance. We'll give you an Elixir, because I don't think I gave you one, and you might want one. There we go. Yeah, I realized there that by not giving Seth an Elixir, had he gotten hit by a couple more enemies than he did, he could have died there. A really low chance, because they all had like 10 to 20% hit rates, but it was a possibility. So now we get to work through a couple problems. First of all, there's another Gorgon here with stone. There is also Archmogals with Shadow Shot, meaning Ephraim can't really approach very much. I figure that he can take a single hit, and his Gorgon decides, even though Seth is wielding a javelin, to just use Demon Gaze instead of stone. Look, I don't get it either. I'm just gonna give Seth an Elixir, double check the range on all these guys, so I just have him kill the Archmogal. And now I equip a Javelin, use the Elixir, and wait on a forest. Gee, doesn't this look familiar? Crit with the Javelin against the Swordslayer guy, though. Which one is the Halberd? It's the one who can't attack me. I'm making sure that Ephraim's never in any danger. I look at all these guys' weapons. Okay, do they have swords? Do they have lances? There's one or two with an axe reaver. And then there's the Cyclops. And there's also one of them has a spear that I can take, and I really want that spear, actually. I'm like, okay, deal with the axe reaver guy, or steel blade, I guess. Deal with the halberd enemy. I can deal with the Cyclops. Lances. Cyclops loves his tomahawk. I don't know why. I think it was just out of habit that I was going to move Ephraim down, and I'm like, hold on a second, this is Seth Solo challenge, I can't do this. Oh man. The habit. Getting into the habit of actually trying to feed kills to your lord is a hard habit to get out of. Hard habit to break. Okay. Now I'm just like, look, just finish this chapter already, get some crits with the Killer Lance. Reeve, I killed you before, I can kill you again. And I realized that, yeah, these Mogals coming around are not turn-based. Like, not turn-based, whatever. I use the spear to get a crit, and I do. Yeah, plus, that way I don't have to move out of the forest. Yeah, I realized the Mogals aren't actually They don't reinforce based on turn, they reinforce based on position, I think. Or at least the turn counter that starts their reinforcement only starts once you cross a certain line. And that might be all the reinforcements in this map. I don't actually know. I'm realizing, wait a second, when I just gave you a single javelin with 3 uses, I wasn't planning on more reinforcement moguls to show up. So I'm just like, okay, look, I'm just going to use up all the weak javelins that I have, because I feel like I need the higher use javelins for later. So I'm just going to use up all these 1 and 2 use javelins. And supply, give, take, just like everything that's low on use. And grab Vidofnir, because I will need Vidofnir to defeat Morva. But now I'm moving forward, I'm thinking, great, I'm done with moguls, more moguls show up. Okay, sure, let's stick to this forest. At least I can kill most of them from here. Wipe that one up. No more mogul spawn, great, I'm thinking. Okay, just lure this one out, take this slow, because I don't want to fight more than... and more moguls show up. I realize I'm going to quickly run out of javelin uses if even more of them show up. Hopefully none of them do. But I really, really, really don't want to fight more enemies than I need to. I rearranged his inventory. Use the javelin, I guess. Kill him. Get a killer edge. Okay, sweet. These Shadow Shot Archmoguls, I can't actually take a hit. I realized pretty soon that I can't take a hit from a Shadow Shot Mogul and the boss in the same turn. Look, screw these Moguls. I'm just gonna move forward, kill them all again. And so I'm like, oh wait, there's one below me too. So now comes the boring part where Seth can't actually reach these Archmoguls, so I'm just going to have to wait out their attacks. Because I don't want to risk Seth getting hit by one and the boss in the same turn, because the boss will always deal 38 points of damage. Yeah. So here we go. And Short Spear broke. Great. Brilliant. Wonderful. Freaking Moguls. Get out of my life. I'm almost done baiting out their Shadow Shots. Look, you need another Javelin. So have another Javelin. I don't care if it's 20 use. You just need it. Because at least he one-shots normal Moguls. Sitting on the forest to bait out Shadow Shot. Realize, okay, that one is done, and I count out the squares, and I shouldn't be in range of the other one. I'm just like, okay, let's kill Morva. 100%, so I go for it, kill him. And now I'm trying to figure out how to move Ephraim down so he was not ever in range of any of the Shadow Shot Archmoguls. I don't know if it would have mattered. He probably could have taken a hit. I just didn't want to risk it. And now I realize I don't know if I'm going to have battle preps, so I'm just going to prepare everyone ahead of time. Probably a wise decision. Probably. As you can see, I also reset because I made a mistake, because I died to the final boss. Now, allow me to illuminate what happened with the final boss my first time. Seth currently has... Okay, first of all, I promote Erica because she's force deployed as well. I might as well have her be mobile. So Seth at this point has 49 hit points, I believe? 48, 49? the boss deals 25 damage to him per hit. And the boss can attack from 3 range, meaning Seth can get attacked while not able to counterattack. Which means I can't just sit... And the boss moves. The Demon King actually moves. So I can't just sit Seth in place and have him fight the boss and heal on player phase. No. No. I have to attack the boss on player phase and then have Seth survive the boss's counterattack as well. And the boss is like an 87% hit rate, and I'm not rigging misses. So yeah. So the left chest, I believe, has a Master Seal, and the right chest has an Angelic Robe. The Angelic Robe can fix the issue that I'm having by giving Seth 7 more hit points. And just like, screw it, kill the Gorgon with Vidofnir. Whoa, my feed dropped some frames there. Hopefully that doesn't keep with the normal video. If it does, whatever. I'm pretty sure it's just the render that I'm using to view this. I think I'm using up a couple more... Am I using Vidofnir uses, or am I using Killer Lance uses? I don't know, because the feed is lagging enough that I can't actually see. Either way, I get the Angelic Robe, have this first zombie dragon, it deals enough damage to 2-shot Seth, and it will move, so I need to lure it out. Okay, Angelic Robe, good. Check. Trade the items around, make sure Seth has an elixir, make sure he has the spear equipped. Okay, good. Good. Fighting the zombie dragon. Deal damage. Retreat. I make a mistake in my placement. I forget to use the elixir, so I have to rescue Seth back. That's literally just my fault. I'm positioning myself here, that way no matter what square the zombie dragon takes, I can move into melee next round. I figure, look, let's just heal up, just to be safe. And then get the support, because whatever. Might help them dodge attacks if they need to dodge attacks. I'm not going to have them fight anymore. Okay, equip Seth with all the stuff he needs. And we move forward. Use the elixir. Healing up, this Wilgie comes down, I equip the Brave Lance so I can kill him in a single round. I realize that these enemies are on triggers. When you move on the right side, Archmogols come from the left. When you move to the left side, Gargoyles come from the right. If you move to the center, both of them spawn. Luckily, Leon's troop will not move. 2 of the Gorgons will move if you get in their attack range, but the rest of them will not move at all. The only enemies that move here are these Archmogols, who are killing themselves on Seth right now, and these Bow Whites, who I can kill. The other White and the Zombie Dragon won't attack unless I get into their range, won't move until I get in their range, so I'm not going to deal with them. I don't want to have to waste extra Spear or Vidofnir uses, so I won't. We kill off these Gargoyles using Seth. I think I just had a Javelin on him? Yeah. Just using a Javelin, just because I think one of them had a Javelin, or I thought one of them had a Javelin. A Javelin was what I had, and that's what I used. And so now we, once again, adjust inventory, making sure Seth has the Brave Lance he needs, make sure that he's fully healed, and then we position him to kill off the next Wilgie, who gets a crit and doesn't need to use the Brave Lance. Oh my goodness. I really hope that this doesn't go this way, because I just dropped so many frames there. Okay. So yes, we have... moving forward with the Javelin just so I can kill off this Archmogol and this Gorgon. That Gorgon in the back uses Shadow Shot, and that's annoying, but it happens. So, elixir up. I think I pure water next turn. My display is lagging again. Yeah. Just more spiders. They have poison. That's annoying, but it's not deadly. You know, it says lethal talons on them. They're just high damage poison talons. I figure I have an antitoxin. Why not use it? So I do. And there we go. Spider's dead. Don't need the antitoxin anymore. Let's just get a javelin and a pure water, and an elixir. Because I'm going to be fighting Gorgons now. So pure water first. Because I figure I'm going to be taking some hits. Might as well pure water and then elixir. Elixir second, and if I stay right here, I realize that these Gorgons won't move, so they're going to attack me from 2 range. The only ones that move are the ones that only have Demon Gaze. Kill off the Shadow Shot Gorgons, no problems. Kill off this monster. And now comes the time when I have to do a little bit of potential risk. Ha ha ha. Potential risk. Now, there are 2 things I could have done. I could have just sat outside of their range and waited, or I could do what I am doing right now and actually just kill them off. But I positioned Ephraim and Erica there, that way in case Seth got stoned, I could just rescue him and wait out the stoning, like what just happened, instead of getting stoned and then immediately dying to Demon Surge. Last use of the Javelin kills off the last Gorgon. I load up Seth with elixirs, and more elixirs and more elixirs, because I know that there is no battle prep between this map and the Demon King map. So I need to make sure that Seth's inventory is perfectly prepared for the Demon King map. So here's what I'm doing, and that's why I'm grabbing so many elixirs. Use up that elixir, keep stationed there, and just trade them out for 3 full elixirs. 3 full elixirs of a Dauphinir and a Hoplon Guard. Hehehehe. Welcome to die. Say hello to the Demon King. I don't know what Ravager does. He's never used Ravager on me. Ever. And he only uses Nightmare when he can hit more than like 2 units with it. And it's a 1 to 3 range AoE sleep spell. So I look at the units that he summoned. He always summons 8 units. This is really not that bad. I position Seth next to him and heal, because I'm like, look, if he for some reason doesn't move, then I'm fine. But he moves, and I'm like, okay, so that plan's nixed. And now these other enemies start attacking me, and I'm like, hold it now, I actually need all these Vidofnir uses, because I can't repair it, and Vidofnir is the only thing that can actually damage the Demon King. So I'm like, wait a second, I can't afford to attack all these guys with Vidofnir. I only have 12 more hits with it. So I have Seth run all the way over here. Yes, Erica is dying to an Archmogul. That's fine, I have elixirs. 10 Vidofnir uses left. Actually, Erica doesn't have elixirs, so I take an elixir from Ephraim and use it. And I wait. And I'm like, okay, sure. Sitting where I am shouldn't be an issue. Sure. I need to access the convoy and get out some sort of weapon. So I just take a spear and another pure water, equip the spear, use the pure water. There we go. Good to go, good to go. Use the pure water here. So she doesn't die. Pure water here, so Ephraim doesn't die. I move him next to Erica. Erica keeps getting attacked. I move them together so that way maybe their support might help them dodge or something. I don't know. Kill off the Gorgon before it can switch to stone. I just do what I can to huddle in the corner and try to make sure no one gets hit. Erica does get hit, but she's been getting hit all day. Okay, we have more elixirs to use, a support to do, whatever. And I'm like, okay, that guy is... Well, I'm debating whether to leave this guy alive or not. I just decide to heal up. He decides to attack Ephraim, but Ephraim has a javelin, so Ephraim kills him. Whatever. That's the last non-Seth fighting you'll ever see. I take another elixir just in case the boss summons more enemies. I don't believe he can, but I just want to be safe. Okay, the spear would have dealt 1 damage, which means the silver lance would have dealt like 2 or 3. So I could have killed him using silver lances. It just would have taken forever. And I'm not sure I had that many elixirs. But I have Vidofnir. I have enough elixirs. I'm looking at his stats. Yes, they're terrifying, but I can at least see how many hit points he has now. So at least I know that he doesn't regenerate, which is what I was afraid of. And he only moves 2 spaces and attacks 3 spaces. So I'm like, okay. And here's the strategy. Here is how Seth will beat Fomortis. I will attack, treat, heal. Seth dodges that attack. Do not get complacent and believe that that means that Seth can just counterattack again. No, he needs to heal. He needs to heal. So that's what I do. And Seth continues the onslaught. I'm just gonna say that this is exactly what happens for the next, like, 2 minutes. Well, it doesn't take 2 minutes to kill the Demon King himself, but yeah. But yes, this is the Seth Solo challenge. I mean, it was kind of interesting sometimes. Chapter 18, I had to use some interesting strats. And it was always pretty interesting whenever I had to use an odd strat that required rescue dropping Ephraim in weird ways. Taking on some of the castles was interesting, required a lot of back and forth, dancing around status staves, that sort of thing. All in all, it gave me a much greater appreciation for Seth. Certainly I knew he was good, but when everyone said, oh, he can solo Sacred Stones, I'm like, that might be a bit of an exaggeration. It is not an exaggeration. Seth can legitimately solo Sacred Stones, Ephraim mode, which I believe is considered to be the harder path, on hard mode, and be perfectly fine. It only takes planning ahead and a lot of javelins. I think I went through at least 50 javelins. Yes, an army's worth of javelins were required to make Seth solo the game. But now we've killed off the Demon King successfully. That's over then, isn't it? Epilogue. Staff credits, Satoru Wada, Kenji and I, people. I use speed up because, I just want to get to the stats. These are the turns it took. Not bad. 33 turns on Scorched Sand, 40 turns on Chapter 18, 69 turns Chapter 20. 999 battles, 712 wins, and 11 losses. Seth returns to Pernay with Ephraim and his fellow knights. His dedicated service made him the most trusted of the king and queen's guardsmen, as well as I missed that last little bit on my playback. Whatever. Seth, you are truly, I think it says, the most legendary knight in all of Renee. The most legendary knight in all of Fire Emblem, how about it? Show me another unit that can true solo their game. on hard mode. I know that Ike can true solo at least on normal and maybe on hard. Path of Radiance. Radiant Dawn no one can solo because no one is in that game for more than half of it. Anyway, this has been a fun challenge, but it certainly is not something that I would actively do, if not just for the lulz. But it just goes to show people, look, don't worry about feeding Seth experience. He's fine. He legitimately can solo the game on hard mode. Don't be afraid of using your Jagan. Maybe some of them aren't that great. Gunter, I know, absolutely sucks, and that game scales infinitely in the end game. Just don't be afraid of using them. And you'll find plenty of other chances to use other units as well. Look, I use Seth for 99% of the battles. I think Ephraim fought a little bit, but he still hit level 10, just out of doing the bare minimum necessary fighting that I found for him. Look. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed seeing Sacred Stones crushed solo. My name's Mithril Zenith, and I hope you all have enjoyed this 2-hour-long feature presentation of Seth in Sacred Stones. Have a great day, everyone. This is Mithril Zenith signing out.